Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Wilkoman Domingo Plays Kerbal Space Program. And episode 2 is going to be fairly short and sweet, a bit of an overview of a little what would represent quite a few hours of gameplay. Now this is because shortly after doing some of this, the 0.22 update came out and introduced science, and since then haven't really played anything but the career mode, because who wants to just fly somewhere for no reason? That's best left to sandbox mode. So to recap, before we go and hit the 0.22 update, which I know happened a little while ago, but which this is all sort of post-narrated, pre-recorded. Let's see. Let's have a recap and see what we did. So what did we do? We built a tug, and then we launched the tug, and we orbited the tug, and as you'd expect, nothing went wrong at all. As I say, we orbited the tug. Now we got to the moon. No, we went to Ascension. That's right, and it didn't take us very long to set up an encounter. But after the length of time passed, they kissed and made friends. And it was shortly after that that we pretty much very quickly worked out, no matter how many dimly lit candles we fired, this thing didn't have enough thrust to drag Ascension. So in a last-ditch attempt, we pooped the communications array off the end, and that made absolutely no difference whatsoever to the weight. Eventually we got to the moon. When we got there, we turned left just a little bit to avoid crashing into the moon, which brought us to an orbit, which meant that we could then detach the tug with Jeb in it from the station, leaving it nicely in place, just in time for a Top Gun flyby. There we go. Highway to the danger zone. Danger zone indeed, as Jeb probably runs out of fuel, because he used most of it dragging Ascension. And there he is, just waiting to be rescued, but who in the Kerbal Space Program can rescue him? That's right, Commander Wilkoman Kerman, the only man ready for the job. Commander Wilkoman Kerman jumps into his dustbin and he flies as fast as he can with a fairly pathetic engine on the back to the rendezvous point. Now, obviously, being better than Jeb, he sets his rendezvous up very quickly, and he doesn't waste a lot of time going round and round for no reason at all. Cameo by Dave there. But he does get there very quickly, just like that. And when he gets there, there's the tug. When he gets there, he gets close enough so that Jeb and his mate, who wasn't shown as being in there before, as I was having a couple of bugs at the time, but he did show up. Jeb and I can't remember his name. I don't know. Cockbury Kerman or whatever it was. They both get into the rescue ship, which backs off to a safe distance, and uses its onboard weapon system to blow the tug to smithereens in case it falls into the hands of the enemy. The enemy being those guys. So at that point we thought the second missile might just come back and kill us all, but thankfully it didn't. We did, however, see that parts of the tug were now just floating off in different directions, and it all looked pretty good because it was just, like a floating docking port, an engine, what's left of a missile. We get back to Kerbal. We brake very heavily once we hit the atmosphere because we need to slow down, obviously, which brings us into a nice little piece where we ditch the command module, and we very quickly find that what's left of the craft tries to bum us. Now, obviously, if something tries to bum you, the idea that the best thing to do is just to stay completely still and play dead, and it will eventually get bored and float off on its own course, which is what we see happening here. Textbook. We manage the descent. The parachutes open nicely. The guys are in there chatting about how it's like 80 degrees outside, man, and they land very safely in the water, and that's about it. So we're just about ready to start the 0.22. We'll see you next time for that. In the meantime, just know that this was a very successful mission, and nothing went wrong at all.
This up now,